For this first one, I thought a really great place to start would be how I got into art, how I got to where I am. I'll kind of hop around, but right now I am 3 years into being a full time artist where I'm not working any other job. I'm putting everything into this. If we want to go all the way back to my childhood, I grew up in the middle of the state of Michigan, fellow Michiganders, right there. Uh, I was a big tomboy. Soccer was my life. Um, I don't believe I ever thought art was a career. I didn't know anybody. There's not galleries in that area. I no real influence to push kids to go in any kind of direction like that. I remember drawing a lot, um, tracing. I was obsessed with Scooby Doo. Past that, I took any of the art classes that I possibly could when you get into high school. It was always a passion of mine. And then when I was graduating high school, I didn't have a great idea. I'm one of those people who didn't have like a solid idea of like, this is my skill. I should go do this. I went to community college, LCC, for 2 years. I also took um, photography class while I was there. I thought maybe photography was it. By the time I got done with those 2 years there, I knew I wanted to go to university. So went to applied to Grand Valley's art school, which Grand Valley is a pretty small university. It's a pretty young university compared to others in the state. Um, but the art scene in Grand Rapids is amazing. School got a portfolio around, had no idea what a portfolio was, um, and got accepted there. That was super exciting. Went to Grand Valley for 5 years. I started in the art school. Art school is intense. There were many, many, many late night painting, drawing sessions, all nighters that everybody does. But those definitely hold a special place in my heart. They were some of my favorite paintings. And I think I still now like just the night calls to me. I sit at night and really just get into a zone. I guess the rest of the world is sleeping, so there's no other distractions. Um, Went through, I think, my second year of art school, started going down the graphic design path. I'm gonna blame it on being a Taurus and not like being told what to do, but I came to the realization of like I don't want to one work for somebody else and two have companies come to me and tell me what they want it to look like. Obviously, that is literally what graphic design is. Like, hey, decided I didn't want to do graphic design. I was not confident in my painting back then. So into school, some of my friends were in hospitality. They're like, "This is so cool! It's so much fun." So I transferred over to the hospitality um, degree. um, I made my emphasis in event management. Being able, I just saw so much of my own freedom and creativity being able to be used in that as well. uh, People coming to me with their vision of I want to do this to celebrate this occasion, and I can be like, okay, I can do this, this, and this for you, and then like let me sprinkle a little stuff on top. So I went through that whole thing, loved it, absolutely loved it. Where before I hop there, I worked in mostly wedding venues for 3 years. Um, we did a few special events on the side, but mostly wedding venues. The coolest one was in Wisconsin. There is a winery called Villa Bellezza. It is this Italian inspired little villa. They also had a gorgeous wedding venue. Um, so I worked alongside them there, planning the weddings. Most beautiful weddings I've ever seen. Um, Cutest little area. I loved it. Was like just this little gem inside of the Midwest. I had the best time. But that, I think my weekend personal life, everything was piling up from college. Like I always had to say no to friends' parties. I always had to say no to like going on break vacations because that's when everybody has big events is during that stuff. And then I moved into the professional career of it, and hey, people's weddings are on Saturdays. Who knew? So every weekend it was okay, here's a wedding, and then tomorrow you come in to tear down on Sunday, and my entire weekends were gone. In between all that, we moved from Wisconsin, moved back to Michigan to be closer to family. Stayed in Michigan for I think about 5 years. We had a house. It was gorgeous. We had over 40 garden beds in our backyard. Loved Michigan, except for winter. Um, I think there was maybe like 2 years of my life that I enjoyed winter. My entire being hates being cold. Um, not a fan. Not a fan. I haven't been back for a winter or holiday since we moved out here. Never, never in our wildest dreams did we think California was an option. Out here, and kudos to it was his then boss, um, for selling us on this place. He's like, you're not gonna know anything like it. You're like, this is the time to take a step into this industry. Like, when else are you gonna do this? You guys are the perfect age, no kids, no like nothing. You can do this. And we literally called our family that night. We're like, so we're moving across the country. Traveled in one pickup with the two little kitties and a hound across the entire country. Moved to California. Came out here, and I had been like a year fully into painting. Came out of COVID, so everybody was a little shaken up from jobs, having to move jobs. I was painting seriously, but I had a lot of inflated ego from my friends and family buying a bunch of my pieces. When I got into my second year, moved across the country, it became kind of a little more apparent of like, I'm really doing this, first of all, actually committing to it. And then I needed to actually find buyers. So last year, I was tinkering with like joining an online art community, doing some kind of like little retreat. I really wanted to, I liked what my paintings were. Now, looking at what they've become after this last year, I'm so impressed with myself. Um, but they could have been so much more. And I could like tell that was what I needed. So I didn't want to do like a 2 week retreat. I know that'd be great for meeting people and getting more immersed in this community, which I'm working on. Um, but I needed more than that. So I joined the Milan Art Institute masterclass program. That was a great refresher from like back to art school because, like I said, like I've been out of painting, out of anything for like 8 years. So loved that part of it. Through the whole program, they help us create a portfolio by the end of it. I believe I'm set up for this year to push my product, push my really good elevated product. I'm super proud of what I'm creating now. I have no doubt that my stuff is really great. Um, Now it's just getting it into the right avenues. I'm going to mostly push to try and get into galleries. Man, we just want to create our art. We want to put it on the internet, and we want it to find collectors who are like, that's really fucking cool. Please let me have it. I'm really excited for where mine can evolve to. Um, but right now, I'm just having a lot of fun making new collections, getting everything painted, and then working my butt off on the side, applying to galleries. That is, in a nutshell, in a 26-minute nutshell. I'll try and cut out some of the pauses and everything, but um, that's how I've got here. And I'm hoping to do a little more little tiny mic talks. So I hope that you enjoyed hearing about where I came from and what I've done. And thanks for listening if you were this far. I hope you enjoyed that.